Adding block time. You may come into your appointment book at any time and block out any time for any of your students. For example, if an instructor or an educator lets you know that a student's going to be unavailable for testing, makeup procedures, or anything in that format, you can come in here and block out that time to prevent any double booking or prevent you from booking any appointments under that student's name when they're not going to be available. First thing you'll want to do is find the student that you'd like to block. Remember, you can find your students by clicking A through Z, and that'll alphabetize all of your students' names, or you can select a specific course or program, and that'll show you the students that belong in that program. So here, let's say the instructor let me know that Joanna is going to be unavailable between 1:30 and 2:30. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that time frame there, and then click Add Block Time right at the bottom left corner. Once you click Add Block Time, it's going to allow you to enter a reason. You want to make sure that you enter a reason that makes sense to you, makes sense to your educators, makes sense to anybody that's going to be working the front desk, because when they are checking anybody in, they'll also be able to see that that student is unavailable. So I'm going to say testing in here. And of course, it's defaulting to the name I already selected. If you were going to be adding a blockout time for an entire group of students, you may do that and select a specific course. So I would be able to select all my cosmetologist students here if I didn't want to go one by one. So if an instructor said, hey, all of the Cosmo Phase 2 students are going to be unavailable, then you would actually be able to come in here and select course or job, and then select what course or program that applies to. But in my case, I'm only selecting one specific student here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And if it wasn't by just a course or program, if it was multiple students, you can select multiple students, and then it'll let you put a check mark next to each student that belongs there. Then you would just press OK, and that would save that block out for you. Now, if for any reason this block out is something that's going to continue to happen, it's going to reoccur. So maybe it's going to be every Thursday this student is going to be unavailable. Then you can go ahead and go reoccurring block out, and then select whether you want that to be a weekly block out, a daily walkout, or just a one time. So in this case, I could say weekly on Thursdays. And if I know that this is going to be until the end of August, then I can actually select an end date there. But if it's going to be just an undecided amount of time, you can just select and leave it as is. But if you know when the last time they're going to be testing on Thursdays is, then you can select the end time there. Press OK, and then that's going to go ahead and add that block time in there for you. Now, anytime you come into the appointment book, anytime you see a slot like this, that's a block out, and it's going to say anything that you typed in there. So that's why it's important to make sure that the title of the block out makes sense to you, makes sense to your receptionist, and to your educators.